21st. Still kind of getting set up in the new house. My new office is still a mess. So it's going to be a little crazy for probably the next week, and I'll get everything situated and proper by next weekend. But let's go over today's trades. You know, what we're going to be discussing here today is how to sacrifice and manage one trade for the other, and why we would do such a thing. So you're going to notice on the P&L, SPY, I am negative $1,000. And on Qs, I am positive 1,705. Now, I took the exact same trade on both. On SPY, market opens up, comes within an acceptable, tolerable amount of range into the previous close. I execute. Now, it did work, but it was really consolidating and holding up. So what I did, and I'm going to go over to Qs, just bear with me here. So here's Qs. Qs had immediate follow through. It pops up, gives us a really nice entry coming into that. Now, there was a secondary entry, granted, but that's first reaction is what we're looking for. So pops up, pulls back. Now, it doesn't look like much, but this is more than enough. So on the equity, it's well over a point. And I was up a fair bit. Really nice trade. So what I'm noticing in this trade is I've locked in $1,705. And if I let SPY go anymore, let's say it does want to go against me. Well, that's going to give me a negative P&L day, and it's not worth it. If I can lock in $700 in the first like 5-7 minutes, why wouldn't I take that? It's about like, I think a lot of new traders, they may not quite understand or grasp, not to sound condescending, but they don't. Until you're a professional and you are relying on this to pay your bills, you have to make decisions, and professional decisions, and non-emotional decisions. You need to weigh your odds. And that's basically what I did. Now, normally what I would do is we would execute a secondary trade opportunity, and it gave us lots of opportunity, tons of opportunity. On SPY especially, SPY was really nice here. If we take a look coming right up into that level, it had massive follow through. You might be looking at this and saying, well, you missed out on that. Yeah, but I didn't miss out because we don't know that these trades are necessarily going to work. We trade strategy. Strategy is never 100%. So if this went against me, there's no way that I would properly be able to manage my risk. I couldn't do it. I would be red on the day instead of locking in that $705 because my risk on one single trade is far more than $700. I'm far beyond that. So for me to risk that money back, it wouldn't make sense. Now, if this was a day where I used more size, because it's Monday, it's very small size, and it was a very quick feeler trade, and I used, like I said, more size, there would be a far greater P&L differential between that positive and that negative. And I could take a secondary trade. I do it all the time. But today, the way it worked out, I'm positive $705. I cannot take another trade just out of risk parameters. There's no way I can do that. So you may say, well, why wouldn't you just size down and take it with like 10 contracts or 15 contracts? I'm not interested in that. I don't trade with 10 or 15 contracts, guys. I haven't in years. So I'm not interested in that. For me to take that trade, it's like either I'm taking 100 or hundreds of contracts, or I'm not into it. And that's just how it is. I'm just being straight with you guys. So it's about managing your positions. And sometimes, even though I've said it, and there's a lot of people out there that will say it, don't trade your P&L. Sometimes when you're a professional, you fucking have to. If you don't do that, you're a fool, and you're going to get yourself into trouble. So I hope you guys can learn from this type of information. Start thinking about, if you take one trade, and let's say take a zero off that. So let's say you're only positive $70, but your average risk on a trade is 100. Well, if that secondary trade doesn't work, you're going to be negative $30 where you could have locked in, a nice little day of $70. So why would you do that? And so many traders do that. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to show you guys how to actually trade professionally, not like a gambler, not like a gunslinger, not like all that other bullshit, but an actual true professional. So I hope you guys understand that. Hope you learned something. And I hope you actually don't just listen, but you actually hear me and you start actionably listening and start doing these things, implementing these lessons into your trading, or else you're just masturbating is all you're doing. You're just doing fucking busy work. So start actually executing and implementing these informational videos, because at the end of the day, if you listen, they'll make you money. So if you do it, you'll be good to go. If not, you're going to continue to spin your wheels. So don't just watch these videos, actually implement the education. And that's all I ask. If you want to come learn how to trade professionally and responsibly like a true professional and get consistency out of your wildest imagination, come to tricktrades.com. Adios, folks. Have a great evening.